Wonder.
Welcome to the Señora Vibes podcast, season 13. Join me, Alicia, your favorite señora, for expert interviews, inspiring stories, and a supportive community that's all about embracing our señora era together. Tune in, ask away, and start crafting the life you've always wanted. Welcome to the podcast, ladies. I am so excited to have you all. I'm calling this episode 2024, The Yum and the Yuck, and a taste of what's to come, okay? And I stole that from somebody because she said to her husband, she said, don't yuck on their yum, honey. And so I said, oh, I'm stealing it. I like it. I love it. I'm going to introduce you guys first as my guest, and I'm going to tell a little bit of a story about how I met you, because I think it's important, because everybody has like a unique story. And I love all three of you, and I'm just so happy to have all three of you here on this podcast, because as I was planning this thing out, you know, putting it all together, I said, who are like my ideal guest? And so I said, okay, I'm just going to reach out and see if they'll do it. So number one is the Victoria Garcia. She's a fabulous photographer. And Victoria and I met when Victoria did a cold call. Yep. Out of the blue, I get a call on my phone. People don't call anymore, right? People just sort of text and they email you. And Victoria called. So I said, ooh, okay, let's see who this is. And Victoria said, hey, I know you have a boutique. I want to come and do a photo shoot for you at the boutique. No cost to you. I just want to do it because I love your boutique so much. This was 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been at least 9 years. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so I want to know more about you, right? And you're like, well, I'm a photographer. I've been doing brand shoots, but I want to do something at your store because I really love it and I think it's amazing. And so I said, awesome, I love it. But then I said, okay, there's a little caveat, Victoria. I'm a little bit of a control freak, so if I step in, I said, don't get offended. I'm just a little bit of a control freak. I like things to be a certain way. And she goes, oh, I just figured that. It's no big deal. And I'm like, okay, she's my kind of girl. She totally gets it. So that's how I met Victoria. And then after that, she started doing all of my brand shoots for my store, for myself, for my website. Like all of her photos are all over the place with just whenever like I do articles, I'll send Victoria's photography. And so she's been like my go-to photographer for years. And so I love you. And I'm so grateful that you're here, Victoria.
Me too.
I call her my bee. My bee. I love you. Yeah. Okay, Geovanna. So Geovanna and I met at a valet line because we were waiting for our car.
I was not expecting that.
I like that.
So we were both at an event that we were both invited to, right? So I think you were invited by somebody, Gio.
Yes.
And I was invited by my sister. It was a nonprofit.
Yeah, we had just given them $10,000 for their charity. We were in valet together.
So I get invited to these things because my sister works for PR in HEB. So I go to these things with her. And so I love it. I love the whole pomp and circumstance. Give me a chance to dress up and I'm there. And so then I just met Gio at the valet line. We were talking. And I look at her and I'm like, I think I know you from somewhere. I've seen you somewhere. And she's like, oh, well, I have a podcast. I said, yes, I'm following you because of your podcast. So that's how we connected. And she's like, oh, I think I follow you back. And so that's when we realized that we were online friends and we were Instagram friends before we were like IRL friends, right?
Yep, it was great ever since then. And then now, I don't know, that was a couple of years ago now. So
yeah, it's been a few years. It's been like maybe 4 or 5 years. And then every time she has something, I go to it and I get invited to it. And I'm like, if Gio's doing it, I'm there because I know it's going to be done right. Like I just know that about her. Nice. She crosses all her T's and she dots all her I's, which is something that I appreciate in a woman. Okay, I'm at a lot of events, right? We are at a lot of events all the time. And if they're not like taking care of the details, I'm not coming.
I love it.
That's just me. That's just me. All right. So that goes to my third guest, Josalyn. So Josalyn, I met you through Yaneth, our friend Yaneth, our mutual friend who's in real estate. She's a lender.
Yes.
And I think she recommended me for your radio show. You had a radio show for a while.
Yes.
And I was one of your guests and we just connected. We became like fast friends, I think. We just didn't like think it through. We didn't say, like, it was like, hey, you want to come to this? Yeah, I'll come to this. You go to that. You go to that. And so we just started inviting each other to things, right?
Yeah, you're just super interesting.
Yeah, and so are you. So then I'm like, I love interesting women. I love women who are doing things and like going out there and just conquering life. And so that's how you and I met. And then I realized that my son was following his daughter because he thinks she's so cute and she's so adorable. And I'm like, oh, Josalyn, my son's been following your daughter for a while because, of course, you know, he thinks that she's so cute and she's adorable. And I'm okay.
Because she was doing the car photo shoots.
Yeah, she does.
Yes.
So she's also a creative, like my son Alex. So they're both creative, so they connected in that sense, right? I think that's how it was.
Cute. Yeah.
And so we're both in real estate as well.
Yes.
So that's how we connect. And so I want to talk a little bit about what we're wearing because all of us are wearing holiday inspired.
Yeah.
Slightly, can we say thrift adjacent or thrift
adjacent is good.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about mine because I got my skirt at the Designer Diva. If you guys have not been yet, y'all need to go. It's a huge warehouse.
What's it called again?
Designer Diva.
It's
in Spring Branch and it's like a big warehouse. And I discovered it because they used to be by my house on Westheimer, right close to me on Westheimer in the West Chase area.
Okay, yeah.
So I discovered them, then I started going to them. So I love, you know, she just has really cool stuff, but it's really hard to find like the little gems, but that makes it more exciting for me because when I find a little gem, I'm like, oh, I'm buying it. Even if it doesn't fit me, I'm getting it. Yeah. So that's Designer Diva. And then I do a lot of Poshmark because I sell on Poshmark. Victoria knows that I have a class on Poshmark. So I did Poshmark on the top. And then this cute tie, I made it at Gio's event. And everybody's always asking me, like, where did you get it? Where did you get it? So we'll talk a little bit about that later because it might be a business idea.
Maybe,
Right? Maybe.
From fun to business. I love it.
Cute.
So, so I like to do Poshmark. My shoes are from the Real. And so I just, because I was in fast fashion, right, Victoria? I was in fast fashion for a long time. I just realized like the waste that goes into that. And so for me, it was like quick, like turnaround in the way that I see fashion now, in the way that I see clothing. And so that's kind of where my inspiration, and I've thrifted forever, like my whole life, because my mom, that's how she shopped. And for a lot of people, that's like a trigger, like a bad trigger, because they say, oh, that's because you're poor, you're thrifting. But for me, it really isn't that way. I never had that connection to it. It wasn't because we were poor. To me, it was more like we would find like cool things when you were thrifting that somebody else just didn't like anymore, and then it suited you at the time.
And who doesn't like to save money?
Right, and who doesn't like to, exactly.
I'm like, you get more for your bang anyway.
You are. And then if you find like a cool vintage designer piece.
100%.
Y'all, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. Okay, Victoria, tell us a little bit about your look today.
So mine is not as holiday inspired, but this is my favorite thrifted piece because it is a handmade crochet cardigan, and it is very, very difficult to find these affordably. So this cardigan was probably about $200 retail, and I got it for $20.
Nice.
Where did you get it?
That was a good find at the Bluebird Circle on West Alabama. They're a really cute shop. They do a lot of furniture and jewelry, and they donate proceeds to the Texas Children's Hospital as well. So I like to go there and try to shop for unique pieces. And then my other thrifted piece are these pom-pom sneakers that I thought that she would really love because they're fun.
They're so
and they're
fun,
playful.
yeah. And they're comfy.
I don't know. I think maybe they're Skechers. No, they're Steve Madden. These are Steve Madden.
I love
so those
it.
are cute, and they kind of like add to the vibe of like just
They
the
do.
playfulness.
I love it.
Thanks.
I love you, Victoria. But Gio, tell us about your look.
Okay, so shirt. Do y'all remember Liz Claiborne?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so shirt is Buffalo Exchange. I go to all the
Buffalo
I
Exchange.
love all the thrift stores. Buffalo Exchange, and then our ties, both Alicia's ties and my tie are thrifted. So anytime I'm at a store, I'm always getting ties. I probably still have like 20 left at the house after the party.
Wow.
But I've always been a tie person, and I'm like, this was the year of bringing the ties back.
Oh,
and there's
I like
so many
that.
different ways to do it. So those are the two pieces that I have that are thrifted.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're also a big fan of the swap party.
Oh my God,
of
the swap
clothing
party,
swap party
and the Real Real.
Vic-
Like the Real Real.
Victoria
is
needs to
like-
come to our swap party. She's been invited a few years and she doesn't come, but you gotta come because I'm telling you, Jocelyn too.
Yes.
She's a huge fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
They're
love
great.
our swap
If I
parties.
like, in another world, if I had more time, I would do those like quarterly. But I'm gonna let you do them for Valentine's Day, and I'm just gonna show up. I already have my stuff ready for that.
Yeah,
party.
I love organizing stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal at all.
Yeah.
All right, Josalyn, tell us about your look.
So the look is a preppy grunge look, and I love that you have it too.
Yes, a little bit of like Catholic school girl.
very Britney,
Our roots.
and I love it.
You're right. I was a Catholic school girl. I went to St. Thomas University, so yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, I went to Catholic school in Columbia for
Did
2
you?
years. Yeah. When I was a little girl. Elementary.
Oh, wow. Okay, I learned something today.
But this is thrifted, the blazer. So this is from In Style. It's in Katy. I live in Katy. And I know the owner. She actually joined real estate a few years ago. We met because she came to my open house. But this is a few sizes too big for me. But I love the look of it, the oversized look, and then it goes well with like the skinny jeans.
And the boots.
Yes, and the boots. So this is my thrifted piece.
I love it. So pretty.
Poshmark. Thank you. I do use Poshmark sometimes. You actually turned me on to it. So I do sell. I'm not super active on there, but I have sold some things. Looking forward to the next swap party because I have buckets of clothing.
And like people assume that it's stuff that you just give to the Goodwill. I don't.
No.
I say it's absolutely not stuff you give to the Goodwill. It's not stuff that you throw away. It's things that are still have a life in them and that still come from like quality. So people understand that. Like you're not. The other thing that I think is a misconception that I get from a lot of girls. They think there's not like XL or sizes. And I'm like, it's all sizes. It's from like extra small to extra large. So yeah, there's none of that. Like people think, well, I think it's just for like the really cute young girls. Like it's not like that at all. It really isn't. It really is for like women who are just more considerate about like where their clothes go. And if it's like more circular fashion is what I'm kind of like encouraging in terms of why we do the clothing swap. And so it's growing. So next year it's going to be in a bigger place.
Yeah,
It's my house has outgrown it. Did you come last year?
Yes, to your house.
Oh my gosh. I had like maybe 20 people in my bedroom trying out stuff in my restroom and my closets. I'm like, okay, it was really fun, but it was like claustrophobic, right?
I mean, no, I had a blast. I just
You
thought,
had
like,
fun.
I'm like, if we're inviting people, it's time to go somewhere big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The more we can drink and the more we can stay, the more we'll.
No, I think that's just going to happen next year for sure. So I always do it around Galentine. So y'all be ready for that and watch out for that. Okay, so we're going to do our yum and our yuck. And so first I want to start with like our personal yums. So for me, my personal yum this year was just creating my community that I'm creating and I'm building. Gio knows a lot about creating communities, so I'm really trying to get to that place. And then I also am like really proud of the newsletter, my personal newsletter that I've been putting out.
I love it.
I love it.
I work with a brand manager.
It's beautiful.
I work with a graphic designer to just kind of put the whole thing together for me, make it like more authentic to me. And so it's just kind of like my favorite things. Kind of like Oprah has her favorite things. Those are my favorite things. And so every 2 weeks.
We have some controversy to talk about later of your newsletter today. I was like, I'm going to see if we can sneak this one
Yes,
in.
please bring it on. Because I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. So it is a little bit of like what I watch, what I like, what I read, what audiobooks, what podcasts I'm listening to. Just sort of the thing that like I can like encourage other people to just open their mind a little bit about like what they're listening to and what they're reading. Definitely. So that's sort of where it comes from.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, your yum, Victoria, for this year.
My yum for this year has been my daily walks, which I'm not an exercise girly at all. I'm a cozy in the couch with a show girly. But I've been encouraged and supported to take a walk every day, and I'm up to a mile a day. And so that has been really great for my health, my mental health, and just like getting out and moving and being active. And so, yeah, that's my yum for this year.
Yay.
Yeah.
Gio?
I would say the final, this was the year for YGC. We finally, it all fell into place. It's the alignment.
So tell everybody about YGC real quick.
So YG Collaborations, that's my company, and my business partner, Yvette, is the Y, I'm the G. And this was the first year we were able to max out on clients. We did our first annual collective, which was our conference, which was fantastic. And then we're moving into our third annual retreat. So it's just, all that hard work of 5 years, like seeing it fall into place, being present while it was falling into place, setting those boundaries. In October, we couldn't take any more clients. And I said, it's finally here, and then celebrating those moments. So I'm so thankful that it's an amazing business, but also having Yvette. She's my work wife life, and I'm like, I couldn't do life without her.
Yeah.
And it's just, sometimes you're in your business so much that you're like, when is it going to be the day that I just reap all the benefits? And it's not just money; it's the alignment. And this was the year, so I was very
Awesome.
grateful.
And when you work with a partner, it's not always easy.
No.
The partners,
Yeah.
there's
I'm
always like an
blessed.
imbalance of work ethic or punctuality, or like I had that experience with a work partner.
Yeah. Or not
and we
having the
couldn't
same
have
purpose.
it.
Purpose
you've had
is
it before.
important. Not, a lot of times partners, one's thinking one thing, the other one's
Yes.
thinking the other. and it's
Or
like, no.
value systems, right? Exactly. What's your yum, Josalyn?
So many have gone through my mind, but thinking about the Latinas in Heels, this is something we talked about at one of the meetings, is allowing myself to rest and to just enjoy the rest, enjoy the leisure without like that guilt behind in my mind. We've still done some traveling, just being at home, watching a movie, like just, yes, I'm still working. Yes, I'm still doing my thing. And I get to rest and have leisure as well.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
You make my
But
heart.
why is it like something that we really have to work forward, right? Because I think it's something like for me, I have to like really be intentional about rest.
Yeah.
Because we have purpose.
But part of it's also like that guilt of like, we're moms, and it's like all of this stuff is on our shoulders, and it's just, we need to be responsible for everyone else and everyone else's outcome.
Yeah.
Making sure everyone else feels good and
good,
safe
yeah.
and all that stuff. It's just like, well, what about?
What about the person that's like filling everybody else's cup and then ours is empty, right? It ends up empty. So it goes back to our yuck, and that's a beautiful transition that you talked about rest, because I was forced to rest because I had an accident over the summer.
Yes.
So that forced me to slow down and not do anything and just focus on my healing and my rehab. But I was not handling it well. I was not handling it well because it was not what I wanted to do. I was angry at myself. I was punishing myself for being stupid, for being dumb and dancing and being a reckless person and like drunk, by the way, and falling all over myself. And then somebody fell on top of my knee, busted and ruptured my ACL and my meniscus, and then I had to have surgery. Busting my head, busting myself, and punishing myself. And I punished myself because, I don't know, I'm somebody that just like takes accountability for me, and I don't like, I don't know how to say this, but I don't have other people punish me. Like my parents can't punish me. Like whatever they could say, it doesn't matter. Like I'm hard on myself already. Yeah. So having to slow down and having to like not do things like was hard for me. But it really kind of centered me in a way. Like I survived it. I was fine. I dealt with the healing. I wasn't back at teaching. They told me that I could take a whole semester off. And instead of being happy that they gave me a whole semester off of teaching, I was pissed. I'm like, well, how dare they? Do they think that I can't work through my leg? Do they think that I can't? Like, it was the complete opposite, thinking like, wow, because productivity for me is my value.
Yes, your worthiness.
And that's how my worthiness. And so that's how I was raised. So kind of like switching that a little bit was sort of hard for me, but it's a work in progress. I'm not saying that I still am like that, because I'm like, what else do you want me? I can do more. I want more. I want more.
Sure.
I feel that.
So it's a little bit like that. Yeah. What's your yuck?
My yuck might be a little bit trivial, but it is something that has been driving me nuts this entire year. I can't seem to get a good haircut.
That's important.
That is so important. Victoria, it's not trivial. It's important.
You know, I had to cut my hair really short when I got diagnosed. And the first thing I did was like, okay, as soon as it's growing back, it's growing back. I'm trying to grow it out. But I'm also trying to like look cute with it short while it grows out. And I mean, I don't know whose fault it is, but I've been to several different stylists, and there just is always something like what I'm asking for isn't what I'm getting, or I think it's cute, and then I walk out and my mom's like,
Did you ask for that?
And she told me, Mija, she's like, Mija, they just chopped up your hair. And I was like, I know, Mom. And so that's been my yuck this year of like trying to find a good stylist, trying to find somebody who can work with my hair and who can give me the look that I'm looking for without sacrificing, the length. And I don't know.
No, it has to be somebody super talented.
Yeah. I found a girl actually on Instagram yesterday. She's really young and she seems young, but she's very highly decorated in the field and she's won a lot of awards and she teaches in other countries. And I was like, this is the girl I'm going to go to. This is my next stylist because I need to find somebody who has an artistry about their work, not just I'm cutting hair.
Yeah.
Can we ask what is the look that you're going for?
It's going to be completely different. I'm getting a short pixie with bangs, and I'm going to grow out the back in a little like mullet style. I'm getting it colored. I mean, I'm whole 180.
I love it. I can't wait to see them before.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, because I'm tired of living in this sort of like 2006 era of hair.
Is that 2006?
I was so thinking 2006.
I had this haircut for a very, very long time, and I don't think it's a bad cut, but I also want something fresh and new and different. And so I'm just going to lean into the short hair. I'm going to stop trying to grow it out. I'm going to bring the pixie back. I'm going to color it, and I'm going to do just a whole
2025 trend. I like it. You're already bringing it. I love it.
2025 trend, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you'll be a trendsetter in 2025.
I hope so.
Yeah. I believe it.
I love that.
Tia, what's your yuck for 2025? For 2024?
Well, my yuck was, believe it or not, leadership growth for me was rough this year.
What?
I know.
Okay, because I see leader.
Shame.
I mean, in like bright lights.
I was like, I gotta be real on this one.
Okay.
I led 3 communities in the past 2 years, and I served on boards, and I served as president and director of operations for one. And again, it's the collaboration, it's the other people, and it has challenged me, and I'm hard on myself because again, no one's telling me, oh, you're being a great leader. Oh, you need to do this, and I go home and certain situations, and I really just have to sit there and go, okay, what can I do differently? Who can I be? What are the very tough conversations I've had to have with other leaders, and sometimes I get defeated. So this year was the year of leadership growth and really leaning into. I know I'm a great leader, but how do you pass that on to other people? How do you explain it in a way that doesn't sound like I'm telling you what to do? And I think because it was 3 communities, I learned my lessons to set the boundaries too. I'm only going into 1 in 2025. So, because it takes a lot.
Yeah.
So that was a big challenge for me, but I know in a couple of months, it'll be like, okay, it's part of the growth journey. So,
Yeah, it is. It's just growth.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I love it.
Good for you. And I did tell Gio, I said, because you're not going to be a leader in one of those, I don't know that I'm going to be a part of it. Just because I know her work ethic and I know the way that she, crosses all her T's and dots all her I's.
Yeah, it'll change things for
I'm
sure.
just not interested in wasting my time if it's not somebody that's like her, super committed to everything, making sure everything's great. That's just it.
And
You're amazing at what you do.
There's a lot of work that goes into all of those things. Not just time-wise, but like mental energy.
Yeah. And it's those things I go, should I be putting it in my business? Should I be putting it in myself? Should I be putting it in my spouse? And I'm like, I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, but sometimes I put expectations on other leaders to be like me, and that's the bigger problem. Not everyone's at your level or can be, but you need to meet people where they are. But I think people take it personally when you do, because not many people, especially with women, sit down authentically and say, I want to have a conversation with you. I want to teach you leadership skills. I want you to become a good leader. And I think what they're hearing is, you're not doing a good job. You are attacking me. You're attacking. And I'm like, instead, it's like, I'm being serious. Like, not many women do that. And I know 2 out of the 3 of you know me, I'm very authentic, and when I put my time and my energy into things, it is for a bigger purpose. And it's not normalized yet, but I feel like Yvette and I are normalizing that. Like, we are women supporting women and empowering women. But then there's times where you have to say enough is enough. Like, how much time can I really spend? And if you're not willing to meet me halfway, then I'm not. I'm not willing to go the extra mile. And there's other places and people and organizations, myself, that I can pour back into. So again, it's been hard, but I think it's part of the journey, and it all happened. It all happened at once at the same time, and I'm still learning
no,
from
for
it,
sure.
So,
Yeah, and you're setting boundaries for yourself as well.
Yeah.
You're protecting your energy.
yes, very important.
Yeah,
Very
super. What's your yuck for 2024, Josalyn?
So I think it's kind of in line with what you're saying.
love it.
And then we talked offline about like yoga, for example. It's something I've been doing pretty much all my life. And it's like, do I really want to keep doing that or not? It's I've been in that space of, granted, I've gotten my broker's license. I've been coaching, like I've been doing things to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something in me that's like stagnant almost. And I think it's having to find like, what's my next creativity? What's my next physical activity? Like even just plain language, just calling it a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is that next thing for me that I want to be able to enjoy and still get something positive out of it? That's kind of been a yucky kind of feeling. And I'll use the word even boredom. Like boredom is not something that I have really known as a feeling, as an emotion, because I've always been in something, right?
Yes.
And y'all, I don't know if you all know, but I have been sober for 4 years, and emotions has been the hardest part of sobriety.
Right.
And the boredom piece of it is just like, oh, it's guttural. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, being okay with the boredom, and also what is that next thing for me, something that I really want to enjoy and bring some growth. And I haven't found it yet. I don't think I found it yet. I haven't found it yet.
Okay.
So that's been a yucky. It's internal, right?
It is. It's an internal
external.
yuck.
It's internal, yeah.
Yeah. And it probably will just come to you in like a lightning strike, maybe.
I think I have to find it.
Making ties is my new hobby.
What? What did you say?
Making ties is my new hobby.
Oh,
And it came out of a party.
it did.
Because it's like
It did.
hobbies.
They're
Hobbies
super cool.
is a trend that I want to
I
bring
love
for
it.
women. I'm like,
Yeah.
we need to find those.
Hobbies that don't have to be monetized.
Yes. Yes. I'm doing calligraphy next year, so that's my hobby for myself.
I
You
like
know
it.
what? That's a goal for me for 2025 where I can do something that I don't have to have like an end goal at the end and just do it for fun.
Yeah.
I need like
Because everything
Therapeutic.
is goal oriented for
Yeah.
me. Like, oh, that's
As
a check,
soon as
that's
you
a
know how
check.
to make something or do something,
Yeah, you're like, oh, I want to monetize
I
it.
could sell
I'll put it
this.
on
I
Etsy
could-
or whatever.
And
Yeah.
that goes with
That's
the
my problem.
hustle culture
The
and
hustle
mentality
culture,
of
yeah.
like, oh, if you're doing this for fun, just make money out of
Yeah.
it, make business out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that is so good. Jocelyn.
We're such entrepreneurs, and then we're like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
No,
was
for
therapy.
sure. That's like always something that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about. Let's go a little bit fun. Let's talk about pop culture. All right. So what was something that was a yum in the pop culture? I want to talk about something that was travel related.
Do it.
Just because I just love to travel, I'm always doing it, and
go.
it's like it's my thing. Like I love it, and I don't even plan it. My husband plans it, and I just get on the freaking plane.
Tell me what to pack.
Tell me what's back. Like, is it cold? Is it hot?
Yeah.
He tells me like, oh, it's gonna be good. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm packing, and it's gonna be carry on, y'all, because I don't check in anymore.
No,
It's
no.
such
For
a
me,
hassle
I
to check
love
in.
my clothes. I'm doing carry on now from now on, and they're like
Yes.
10 days in Europe.
Yeah.
Y'all,
I
it's
don't know what
possible.
makes me think that like I wear the same thing every 2 or 3 days at home, but on a vacation, I'm like, I'm gonna wear 3 outfits a day, and I'm gonna
Yes.
wear 5 different pairs of shoes. No, I'm not.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna wear 1 pair of jeans and 3 tops and 1 set of sneakers.
Victoria, that's how it is. Yeah, and 1 pair of like cute shoes, and that's
Yeah.
it. So for me, like this is something that I started to notice in like social media and things that like, because I follow a lot of travel, Instagram accounts or businesses and brands and all that. So influencers in travel. And they're starting to use a lot more employees to be influencers in their so they're creating like content for them. And they're getting, extra bonuses, they're getting trips, they're getting like a lot of great perks just from being employees of like a travel company. For example, Base. Have y'all heard of Base? It's like a luggage company. They do luggage, like Monos is a luggage company. Away is a luggage company. So all of them are starting to use like employees to do like influencer campaigns for them. And so not only are they just working for the company, but they're also influencers. So they're getting extra perks or getting, extra funds for like, a restaurant review reviewing, luggage and so that's kind of where my head is kind of like going because I already go. So like y'all pay me now so that I can travel. So that's kind of where my head is going. Again, back to hustle culture. Yeah. Oh my God, Josalyn. Yeah.
How can I get paid
It's
to travel?
ingrained in us.
Just pay for my travel.
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly. Pay for it. Like I'm paying for it. Now you pay for it, right? So, and I give you content or whatever, right?
Genius.
Okay. I know. I think that's kind of genius. And the yuck in the pop culture, I don't have that yet because I'm still kind of like percolating on a few things, but I want to move on to you guys. What is it? What are you thinking about the best or the yum in pop culture right now or entertainment? It could be anything.
I'm going to pass on this one. I'm going to think about it.
Okay. Think about it.
I mean, there's so many. What topic? You want to do celebrities? You want to do fashion?
You could
wanna
do celebrities.
wellness?
You could do TV shows, movies that you
I mean, look, I will
loved.
do TV shows, and just like that, and Emily in Paris.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I like have the countdowns anytime there's a release. Emily in Paris this season.
Did you
the
grow up with
fashion.
Sex in the City?
I 100% grew
You
up. And you know what?
did.
When I don't know what to watch, it's always on a season. So I think I'm on season 3 of the original because it's like when you don't know what you want to watch or your shows are on
just go
pause.
back to your
I'm like,
safety
you
show.
always
Okay,
go
let
back
me
to
ask
Sex
you
and
this
the
question.
City.
Did you watch Sex in the City as an original show
Yes.
or as a repeat?
No, I was OG.
Oh, really?
OG.
Because I mean, you seem very young to me. I'm
No.
like, I don't know
No.
if she's Gen X. You're not a Gen Xer, are you?
So I'm a Zennial. I'm the in between of the Gen X and
really?
the Millennial. Yeah. So I am 100%
Okay.
HBO when you had to wait till it came out.
Oh.
No DVR. I'm obsessed with Sex and the
Okay.
City. So
And Emily in Paris, of course. I mean, the fashion.
it was to
It's
die for. My
just-
husband's like,
Again, like you're watching it again.
shh, you're not here. So, but he actually ended up watching it. He's like, because he loves Paris. So,
Oh.
Yeah.
and now that she's going to Italy, I'm like, oh, here we go. So,
She is
yes.
going to Italy.
Yes.
Emily is going to Italy.
Yes. It was great. So those were my 2 favorite shows of
I love
this
it.
year.
Perfect. Okay, so your pop culture yum, Josalyn.
So y'all know I'm not very much into the pop culture. I
Why?
I've
just tell us
never
that.
really been.
You're not,
Like
yeah.
I'm thinking you saying the Sex in the City, I was like, okay, I was in LA at the time. I was in fashion school, but I wasn't watching the show. I remember seeing like bits and pieces on the screens, like when I'd go out with my friends to the clubs, which I was too young to be in, by the way. But I don't know. It's like,
What about music?
oh, music?
Yeah, music is pop culture.
So some new artists, Got Street Park is a new artist. They're from, new to me at least. They're from the UK. Super cool.
Okay.
Jazzy, hip hop.
Okay.
Yes, and they have like guest singers, and it's a super cool vibe.
See, that's pop culture. We don't know
See,
that.
that's pop culture music.
Okay, so yeah, and concerts. I mean, we love going to concerts, so that's always fun.
Concerts are great. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm thinking about like Netflix. What's on Netflix? Oh, I saw Envidiosa. Have you
didn't
guys
see
seen
that.
it?
No, I did not
In
see
Spanish, from Argentina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Envidiosa.
It's good.
Yeah, I
Okay.
liked it.
Good rec.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, I'm always looking for recommendations.
yeah, and I like.
So I'm on
this-
repeats right now. I need something new.
Yeah, and I like watching things that are not from the U.S.
Okay.
Right, because
Me
it gives
too.
you a different
Yeah.
perspective. It's like, yes, I'm Latina, but I'm not living in South America, so I like watching things that are.
Did y'all watch that Eva Longoria one?
Yeah.
The Women
Yes.
of Wine. What was it called? The La Tierra de Mujeres?
Oh,
wait, that's not the one I
No,
saw.
that's not the one I watched.
Yeah, I saw the one that she was going around Mexico.
Well,
Yeah,
that
that's
one's
the
good
one.
too. But she
Yeah.
did
Travel
a show
show.
with mom. It's a mom daughter.
Oh, in
her
Spain.
In Spain.
Yes. And she
I have
goes
to
to
look it up.
Spain, wine country.
What's
yeah.
on that? Is it on Netflix?
I'll have to check, but
I
either
don't know
Netflix
if
or
it's on
Amazon.
Netflix.
But the mom is actually Spanish in real life. You know, she's from Mexico, so it's like you can see the difference of and she speaks. It's mainly in Spanish, even though it's like and then the daughter. It's a great show, and season 2 is going to be they're renewed for season 2. So
Yeah.
Speaking of great shows in Spanish, I loved Como Agua para Chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw that on your newsletter.
I was saying that was on your newsletter. She's like,
add it on the newsletter.
meh. You were sort of meh about it in your
No,
newsletter.
because here's the thing. Y'all need to watch the original movie.
yes.
Oh yeah,
I've seen the
movie's
original.
great.
That
Yes.
is just top level.
It will be forever my favorite
Yeah.
movie of all time. That was my coming of age movie,
Yeah.
and it really impacted like how I thought about
Yeah.
love as a young child, because this was like, I think I saw it in middle school, And then, of course, for the rest of my life, I was like, unrequited love. We're going to be together in the end. It was really toxic, actually, because that was not a great ideal to have about love.
No, but it's good to have realismo mágico, right? Because it's realismo mágico.
Exactly.
Imagine trying to, okay, so I was telling Rusk about it, and he's non-Latino at all, and so he was like trying to figure out, like, what do you mean they get in love, they become in love with the food? And I'm like, and the food is, I'm like, babe, because it's emotional, and all her emotions get transferred to the food she's making. He was having such a hard time with it. He's like, I'm disconnected from it. If it's not like, you know, straight to, I'm like, no, you got to understand. It's like emotional. Women who cook, like if they're happy, it translates to their food. If they're in love, it goes to their food. If they're angry, it goes to their food. It's like such a beautiful show, huh?
And I think it does a really good job of telling the story in its original content, because if you've seen the movie enough times, you know that the storyline in the show actually follows all of the same storyline. So they don't change the story. They don't change the story from the original book. But what they do is they expand on the characters. They expand on Nena. They expand on, you know, the life of all of the other characters that we know throughout the story, but we don't really get an insight into.
Like an inside look into.
And so I love that.
It's a good point.
About it being another layer to this story that is just so beautiful. And in the book, if you've never read the book, the recipes for all of the food that she makes are in the book. They're the beginning of each chapter. So for 2025, one of my things is going to be I want to make as many of those recipes as I can.
I love that.
Yeah, that's going to be one of my goals.
That's good.
Love it.
Yeah.
You know, I even started thinking I want to do like a party that's inspired by the show, by Agua para Chocolate.
Let's do it.
And have like the food and have like the whole feeling.
Girl, you know me. Any party with food. I'm married to a chef, so he gets it. My husband's a chef.
He gets
that's a
it.
love language. I don't know why we haven't made that like the sixth love language is food, but you can
absolutely
like I don't have to cook, but when he cooks, it's like you do feel you know what his favorite dishes are, and it's amazing. So yes, I agree.
Gio, how are you so damn skinny, girl?
I'm very active. I don't exercise. Which I should.
She goes like this.
I'm so active. I'm like super active.
No, I know you are.
ripping and running.
Yeah, and
No,
because
and you probably cook super healthy too.
Yeah,
and
we're not. He's not cook. I mean, he does have good fried food too, but he cooks healthy. And then also like when we go travel, you're walking everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
we eat all the time when we travel, but like anywhere, even
You're
in
walking
Chicago,
the
it's like
whole
you're
time.
walking. Yeah. So it's
so true.
We eat and we love it. It is a love language. It's an experience, and people are like, I don't understand. I'm like, I don't understand how you're not eating good food because like there's especially in Houston,
Especially
so
in Houston.
many. You can get anything you want here.
Right.
Yeah, and it's affordable. It's not
So
like
yum.
You know.
Okay,
I just
there
wish
goes
we
a yum.
could walk more.
Yeah, I wish we could walk more. Yes.
That is really the key to why so many of those European countries are, you know, so, and not just the food, but it's also a lot of the exercise that they're doing.
Walkable cities.
Yeah, they're
walking.
not driving everywhere. So my husband lives Paris.
Yeah.
Okay, so when are we getting up this there?
Yeah, right.